So today's topic is introduction to OOPS, classes, objects, constructor, this keyword, static keyword, right? So we will be covering all these topics. So what is OOPS? Full form is object oriented programming, right? What is the definition? Definition is it is the programming that organizes code using objects, right? Instance of classes. Object is what? Instance of classes which bundle data and behavior together, right? So classes, we will be having the classes in which we will be having the behavior, the data. Let's say we are having the class car, and thus we will be having the properties, let's say string name of the car, right? The brand, the speed. So these all are the data of the class, right? And we are having the instance of the classes, instance, right? That is called the object. We will see that further, right? So this is the definition of OOPS. Basically, using of classes and object is called OOPS, right? So the core idea, what is the core idea? Instead of writing codes as the procedure or the functions, you model your code around real world entities called objects, right? What is OOPS? It's clear, right? Basically using of classes and objects. Definition of OOPS is clear. Now what is this? Procedural programming, right? So basically in this we will be having the code that is organized into the procedures, right? So that is also called functions or routines, and focus is on performing the operations step by step in a sequence, right? So in this basically we will be having the simple functions or methods, and we will be calling them step by step. Let's see this real life scenario. Let's say we are having a recipe of making tea. The first step will be boiling water, add tea leaves, add sugar, right? These are the steps. So in the code, how can we write the recipe? We are having the tea maker class, right? The first method we will be having boil water. In that we will be printing the boiling water, right? Second method we will be having add tea leaves. Third method add sugar, and fourth method serve tea, right? And in the main function we are just calling these functions, right? So we will get the output, and this is basically purely procedural because we are not using any class instance or encapsulation. So it's not OOPS, it's what? Procedural. These are just organizing your logic in the functions and calling them in the sequence. Understood? What is this? Procedural programming. This definition is clear, right? What is procedural programming? You understood the concept, everyone? We are just following the sequence. We are having the simple functions, like here we are having the simple functions and we are calling them in the sequence. Here we are not having any class is not there, right? Instance is not there, we are not calling any instance. Encapsulation is not there, right? So this is simple procedures. This is clear now. So you understood the difference between OOPS and the procedural programming. In the OOPS we will be having the classes and the instance. In procedural programming we are having the simple procedures, right? So let's see the real life example of a OOPS, right? So basically you have seen this class, right? This is the car. Now this is the class. We are having some properties, name, its brand, the speed, right? And we will be having different cars. Let's say first car is Swift, right? So we will be creating the instance of this car, instance of car, and passing the values. Name will be Swift, brand will be Maruti, speed will be, let's say 100. Okay, now second car is, let's say Mercedes. Okay, now this is the second instance of the class car. Again we will be having the name Mercedes, brand Mercedes, and speed, let's say 200, right? So we are creating different instances. As we are having different cars, we are creating different instances. Basically car is the template, this we can say is the template, and we are using this template to create the new car. Understood this example, everyone? This car is the template, we can say, and we are using this template to create different cars. This is clear, right? You understood the logic. It has some data, it has some behavior, right? Got it. Now what are the benefits? These are some benefits: modularity, reusability, scalability, maintainability, right? You in the interview, if they ask about the benefits, you can say these are the benefits. So now 4 pillars of OOPS. I think everyone knows about this: encapsulation, wrapping data and behavior in a class. Here we created the class, right? Car. We are having its properties, name, brand, speed. So we are encapsulating the properties in the class. This is what? This is encapsulation. Further, we can have the getters and setters for these properties, that is name, brand, speed, right? So this is the part of encapsulation, right? In the further sessions, we will talk about this encapsulation and other pillars in detail. Now this is encapsulation. The second one is abstraction, that is hide complex details and expose only the essential one, right? So this is the abstraction. We will check out this further in the upcoming sessions. Interfaces are there, right? Then inheritance, derive new class from the existing class. What is inheritance? We will be having one parent class, right? It will be having some properties, let's say show color, okay, and we will be having one child class which will inherit the properties of this parent class. Now we can call this function from the child class only. So this is what? This is inheritance, right? Basically this method will also be in the child, right? So this is what? Inheritance, right? We are having the parent class and a child class that will be inheriting the properties of the parent class, right? Again, we will check the code in the further sessions. Next is polymorphism, same action, different behavior. Now the example is method overloading, method overriding, right? So we will be having a method, let's say speed, right? Speed is there, so it will be having, let's say, one parameter, int x, anything will be there, right? So we will be having one more speed, that is method with the same name. Now it is having 2 parameters, car name and the speed, right? So if we are calling speed with 100, then it will call this function, right? It will call this function. If we are calling speed swift with 100, right, then it will call this method, right? So we are having the 2 methods with the same name but different functionality. This is polymorphism, right? So again, we will be covering these topics in detail in the upcoming sessions, right? So now what is class and object? I already said class is what? Is a template or blueprint for creating the object, right? So if you see the example here, this is the class, right? We are having the properties, that is brand, speed, and behavior is there, that is drive, right? So this is what? This is a template for creating a class. Let's say we are creating Swift class, Swift car, right? Then what? Mercedes. So these will be using this template, the template of the car class, right? So we can say this is the template for creating objects, right? After that, it defines the properties, the fields, and the behaviors, that is methods, correct? So these are the fields, these are the methods, behavior. What is an object? An object is an instance of the class, right? So we are creating the Swift class, Swift object, right? This is a car, so it will be using the template of this car class. So we can say we will make the instance of car class, right, and pass the properties, right. So in the main function, what we are doing, we are creating a new car, that is car 1. We are setting the brand, that is Tesla. We are setting the speed, that is 100. Then we are calling this drive method, right. So how we are creating this object, we are using the car, the name of the class, then the name of the car, that is the object. Let's say car1 equal to new car, right. This is the simple initialization, creating the object. Then we are using this car1 object and we are setting the properties, that is brand equal to Tesla, car1 dot speed equal to 100, speed equal to 100, car1 dot drive. We are calling this drive method. Understood? So this is basically a, what we can say, this is the template. Here we are creating the object, creating object using the template, using template. Correct? Understood everyone? This is the second object, right. We are creating the second car and we are setting the values, that is brand BMW, speed 150, and we are calling this drive method where we are printing this brand and the speed, right. So this is what class and the objects, right. So we will be using these. Basically this is the base of the oops. This is what oops, right. So we will be using this in the further sessions, in the further code. So why use classes and object? Group related variables and the methods together. So basically we are grouping this, right, brand, speed and behavior. That's why we are creating an object, right. So reduce complexity and improve the code organization, helps follow dry, don't repeat yourself principle. So you can answer this in your interview.